was the nurse hot? Don't have hot nurses in rehab.
This is Great Job, Awesome. What's up, guys? Thank you to everyone that has checked out the recent videos and all of the new subscribers. We do this for you. But today we're going to talk about Chris D'Elia and what I would consider his response to the documentary called The Chris D'Elia Problem by Kyle Anderson.
You know, actually I went to fucking, nobody knows about this, but I went to rehab. And I don't know if I was going to tell people this or not, but I did. I went to rehab. I was there for over a month. I went back in November, and we pre-recorded a lot of the shit.
Now, are we really supposed to believe they pre-recorded all of this shit up till now? He was filming vlogs this entire time. He has vlogs over the last 3 months, and all you'd have to do is look at his website dates and see how they correspond with the rehab stay. But I don't care enough to do all that because I'm positive he wasn't in rehab. He was promoting dates in June for September, but all of a sudden he went to rehab in November, so he canceled all those dates afterwards? Sounds like bullshit. But I guess if you cry on your podcast as a man, people will give you sympathy. I mean, he's still a 40-year-old that uses Snapchat. That in itself is so suspicious, no matter when those calls were made for that documentary. His team of social media people and his lawyers were probably like, claim to go to rehab, which is very weird considering his addiction. He claims that it's trauma-based. This was a trauma-based rehab center. But yet his addiction is something that TMZ or Dr. Drew would have already exploited. But yet nobody knew he went to rehab.
Should have done it this whole time, honestly. Like, should have done it years ago. Didn't, because I had excuses in my head about COVID and shit. But and all that, and but yeah, I did it because I had to, you know, for my addiction and all that shit.
Now, there is no news of Chris D'Elia's rehab stay aside from his podcast explaining that that's what happened. His friends didn't mention it, even though this is supposed to be him growing and getting better. But nobody is saying, glad you're back. He's playing everyone for fools. The people he's surrounded by know how much money he's worth, and they will do anything to protect it. If he cries and claims rehab, some of the fans will stay and continue to support. But as far as numbers since the documentary, D'Elia's super cult, now super good, has lost 3,000 subscribers.
I need to be present, and my God, it was a trauma-based thing that I went to, and one of the best in the world, and holy fucking shit, man. Really, the work that they do there is absolutely amazing. Dude, I was there, and I was scared as shit, and I thought that everybody, when I was there 2 weeks in, after I stopped being scared as shit.
Chris D'Elia has a second channel sharing his tour report that shows that he was in Raleigh, Savannah, Denver, Cheyenne, Boston, and Albany within the last 2 or 3 months. So he can claim they record all his podcast episodes ahead of time, but the tour dates? How'd you do that? And also his basic idea of what rehab is boils down to setting boundaries, a guy with a loud chair, and your 7-year-old self living inside your chest. I think this guy just watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest because even his impression of the other patients was just an impression of Chief Bromden. Why was he housed with an ex-Navy SEAL? And how did he find out that he was a Navy SEAL and also still be willing to confront him? It's at a point where people are going to stop believing him.
Oh, everybody should do this, dude. Because you do shit where, like, you sit in a chair and close your eyes and talk. Dude, who you think you talk to, man? Who you think you talk to? Think about it. Who you think you talk to? Think about it. You're probably like, oh, your mom, or oh, your dad, or friends, or enemies, or oh, yeah. But you know who else you talk to? You close your eyes and you talk to you as a 7-year-old.
He's ran everyone in circles, with his half-assed apologies, and some have stuck around. But this documentary added many new angles that Chris just can't hide from or explain away. He's not mentioned the documentary at all. He simply responded to certain things his way. Much like having his own wife say, your type of women is like 40-year-old women, which is definitely a nice way to help him, but we all know his actual type. Even though D'Elia continues to do stand-up and tour with unknown comedians trying to get their 15 minutes of fame through Chris, they are also part of the problem.
Ooh, who is my hall pass if I could have one?
Is it Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
That's so fucking fucked up, dude.
I love that.
I don't know who mine is.
Jessica Chastain?
She's great. Yeah, she's great.
All of your, like, go-tos are, like, hot women over 40.
Yeah. Well, you know, because they know some shit that I don't know, you know what I mean? 50, 60, 90.
Now, if these openers would stop working with him, if these comedy clubs stop booking him, this would all have a much more serious effect on Chris D'Elia. But since he continues to have a name and sell tickets, some people will still give him money, and that will give him confidence in what he's doing and more reasons to allow this sex pest to feel untouchable. And I commend Kyle Anderson for taking on this situation even though he is trying to get into stand-up. While most open micers would bend the knee to open for Chris, Kyle Anderson took a completely different route, and at the very least, he won't have to worry about working with Schaub, Callen, or D'Elia.
How does it help? Isn't that the thing? I got no idea. I have no idea. Taking it to say, dude, when I was there, though, in rehab, they would give me the fucking, dude, there's a fucking sun rising in my head. Give it to me. It would tamper it a little bit. But you had to go through, like, red tape to get fucking, whatever, Bayer or Excedrin or some shit.
It is obviously strange that this guy goes to rehab as a person who's not doing drugs or alcohol, but he complains about not being able to get some Excedrin.
Why was the nurse hot? Fuck. God damn it, that was going to be funny. Whatever, dude. Don't have hot nurses in rehab.
That last clip is probably one of the more disturbing things to have to hear, because you're like, if this guy's going to rehab for some sort of a sexual addiction, saying that the nurse is hot as soon as you're in rehab, it's like, I don't feel like you're doing the work. You're not getting any better.
Because a lot of them were addicts too, or are addicts. And they just take their heart out. You go, you sit in a chair, they put their heart on the fucking tip of their boot, and they just go, sit tight and fucking just kick in the goddamn teeth. And it is the most painful, beautiful thing. And it's necessary. And it's hard.
So as you can hear there, it is another explanation from Chris as to what was taking place in this rehab. I'm still confused on what kind of rehab it was. I have no idea. He's made many different claims throughout that episode, but he's so vague. You're like, well, some of this stuff seems real. Some of this stuff seems absolutely Googleable, right? You could find it online, no problem, get that information that, hey, one of the main things when it comes to being in rehab is they teach you about boundaries, you know? He hesitates on many of these stories where you're almost like, you're making it up on the spot. But that sigh at the end of what he's saying here is so dramatic, it adds to the fact that you probably didn't go to rehab. You're really hamming it up for us, guy.
Oh, dude, they make you fucking set boundaries, dude. Wow, one thing I fucking hate is setting boundaries. I'll tell you that much. You know why? I want everybody to like me. And if I put a boundary on someone and they don't like it, then they don't like me. Yay, dude, I'm 42 and I just figured this out. You know what? So I had to put boundaries on people. That's what my therapist told me, that I had to put boundaries on people. That was like my assignment.
Why does Chris's voice keep changing as he's trying or starting to tell this story? If you knew how the story was and what the situation was, your voice wouldn't have to change so much and pause so much. It seems very clear to me. Making it up again. Making it up. This one guy, right? This one guy did this one thing, and I'm going to tell you about it. Even if you watch the video version, you can see that he makes like these weird movements clearly not pointing to anything that has to do with the chair being drug out from under a table. Making it up on the spot, dude.
And one guy that was like eating in the fucking dining hall would fucking pull his chair out too loud. And I'm like Larry David sitting there. I'm just like, how does this bother me that much? Dude, I'm like a vet, dude.
I don't know if anybody else is noticing this as much as me, but Chris goes from, oh, I need CBD because of my restless leg syndrome. Oh, I go to rehab for some strange reason, not actually telling anybody what that is for. Is it coffee headaches? Is it trauma? Is it sex addiction? To now being afraid of loud noises. I mean, the guy's full of ailments, right? So many things are just crippling this guy, and yet he performs on stage night after night and has been for the last several decades, whatever the fuck it is, right? It's just bizarre how quickly he turns into an old, crotchety man when all of this stuff comes out, right? I'm just an old guy. I'm feeble. But yet, 2 weeks before he got in trouble, got canceled, essentially, he's working out heavily. He's talking about how strong his back looks. He's talking about his shoulders. Right? Working out twice a day. Now all of a sudden he can barely lift anything. He's frail. Right? Strange. Alright guys, but as usual, don't forget to subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comments. And what is the other thing? Like, subscribe, comments. I don't know. I think that's it. Like, subscribe, comment. Yeah, that's it. Until the next one. See ya.